links to join the channel here over on Subscribestar. So J.K. Rowling starts a charity for women, and that's a problem. But it's also an interesting forcing people into a binary, including left-wing women, which is kind of what the whole BLT thing, emphasis on the T, is doing, is why it's fascinating. Is because it forces a lot of women to say, "Oh yeah, you got a charity, it's for women, but you got you got men in the charity, and it kind of would be nice just to have women in a position where they're feeling kind of vulnerable and they just want to be around women." And we're leftists, yeah, we get that, we're all left wingers, but you're saying you want men in this. Women saying, it's like, they're trying to like parse this sentence through in their mind to come to solve the equation, and it's like they just keep getting this blue screen of death because they can't come to the conclusion they want to come to. And so like, yeah, it's because it's kind of this big concept of nationalism versus globalism, of saying we draw a circle around us, this is our identity, you're not us, you're on the outside of the circle. And their whole life they've been brainwashed to think, no, globalism, you can't exclude anyone from anything. And all of a sudden, when you start pushing them on these issues of saying, yeah, this is it's a charity for women who were victims of things, and they just kind of want to be around women to deal with it, and it puts them in this loop of they know what the right answer is, and it's like, well, yeah, men are not women. Can you say that on social media anymore, or you get a strike? But it's like that's where that's where the pathway goes, and it pushes a lot of left-wing women to come to that conclusion, like, so if we put our foot down on this, is it going to be a win for the right wing? It's like, what was it, the Young Turks, they were getting mad at Balenciaga, not because of their horrific abuse of children and their stochastic moving of the abuse window. They were mad because it was a win for the right wing, because the right wing is against abusing kids. That's just a remarkable cell phone for the left. Oh, so the far right is pro free speech and against abusing kids. Damn it, that's a win for them. How do we get it? It's like, aren't you guys against abusing kids also? And they look at you like, oh, right, sure, right, yeah. You start to get that funny feeling. Like if you're on the left and you're looking at the far left, and it's like, the window is shifting to the far left, and you look at them and you're like, is it time to get off this train? Can we stop it? Just like, the train has no brakes, man. Anyway, so J.K. Rowling thought the train had brakes, and she's been pushing all along, and she discovers, nope, it's on the mountain pass. It's a snowing mountain pass, just in a steadily increasing slope. So oddly enough, I wonder if women would be in a better position if women like JK had pushed to further the patriarchy and actually pushed against women's rights. I get the feeling that women would be better off if they had less rights on paper. I mean, they'd probably have actual more rights. They have a higher standard of life for the average woman. 10 years ago, I would have said all this was crazy, but now I suspect that it's not so crazy. Maybe it's everything you've been taught by government schools and media brainwashing has been a lie. What? How dare you say that? Looks around at the present clown world and go, you might have a point there, but that means I need to re-examine everything. It's like, yeah, it's better to do it now than later. Do women really want voting rights, or knowing what they know now? If they could go back, would they change anything? I wonder how many modern women would have taken a different branch of space-time, as the Terry Pratchett trousers of time theory. Anyway, so JK starts a charity for women, and this triggers people. But again, it doesn't trigger all feminist women, because they're just doing this loop in their mind. Like, they can't come out against it or for it, because they know it's yes, there should be charities just for men and just for women. And there's only two biological sexes, and like, the women know this, but their mind is just looping and looping and looping because they can't publicly come to that conclusion and say, you know what, it's okay to exclude people sometime. It's like that starts moving the window a little bit to the right, and they just can't do that. And to be fair, they'll get dogpiled on social media. Anyway, so she starts charity for women, and like, female. The bearer of young. Sir, are you saying the reverse of the if-then statement? No, I said the if-then statement. I didn't say you said the inverse, and that's actually a straw man. I just said if-then. This triggered people because it didn't include men. Here's the thing. At this point, I'm on team accelerate because we've gone way, way too far. It's like with this or with left-wing cities, people have to see the consequences of their decisions. 70 years of left-wing policies of destroying the family and group preferences and nationalism and turning America into a commercial zone. What do you get? Well, you get this kind of nonsense you see before. You get drugged out homeless tent cities across America. You get an America that is unrecognizable from 40 years ago because it's been turned into a commercial zone to benefit very bad people. Whether it's America or the UK for her, the other aspect is the accelerated cultural Marxism of dismantling the nation by destroying the family and destroying the in-group preferences that form a family, extended family, neighborhood, tribe, state, nation. The BLT part of the Frankfurt School, telling kids that they are something that they're not, telling them things that is objectively false, putting them on a path that goes absolutely into an abyss, which is where we are now with the pronoun sort of thing. If they can make you believe absurdities, they will commit atrocities, which if you look around, you can see that they're already happening. So there are women's charities for women, females, who would not want to be in the presence of men at a vulnerable time. But what's happening now with these groups is that, and don't get me wrong, men need their own private spaces too for men. And anyone has an idea, but I believe in that. Like anyone has it. I sound like Joe Biden now, interrupting himself with interrupting himself. Anyone who has an identity group should. It's like the right of exclusion, right? It's like no. We need to be inclusive to everyone. Oh, we have a different philosophy. We believe in this concept of tribalism. But, it's like we're not forcing you. It's like kind of the non-aggression principle. It's like we're not forcing you to be part of our group, but we're saying like these separate groups are for different people. They're not for everything. We can't be all things to all people and serve their interests the way they need to be served. It's this concept of, yes, it's okay to exclude. And you tell them this, and it's like they try to find a way to figure out why that's wrong, which they're like, ultimately it's not. If you're part of that non-aggression principles, we're not forcing you to do something. We're just saying this is for certain people. If you are of this tribe, then you're welcome, and if you're not, then you're free to join your own thing. Different things are for different people, and that seems to cause a lot of blue screens in their minds. So what's happening is there are men in these groups, and when these women ask why are there men there, the female victims are banned from the charity. Yes, it's just as sick as it sounds. Female victims are forced to be around men. Why? Because cultural Marxism says that men are women if they want to be. No, it's not that this doesn't bode well for society. It's as if it got this far and there's nothing stopping it, then we've already gone too far. You're not going to turn this around. 70 years of government school media brainwashing is not going to be turned around overnight. In fact, we definitely won't save all of it or everyone. The differences are irreconcilable, and something else that raises red flags is the lack of government concern about it, either here or in the UK. It's an emperor has no clothes situation. It's all just happening, and there's no top-down pushback. It's all bottom-up. Even the politicians on the right wing are rather too quiet about it because they're not our politicians. If you're on the left or the right, you don't have representatives. Neither one of us. It's the wings of the same bird. Keep that in mind. But again, accelerate it to destruction, burn the system down, start fresh, and much more based. But JK is a leftist. She was pushing left-wing stuff her whole life. Then the younger generations kept pushing left. JK thought the wagon she had been pushing had arrived at a nice resting spot. But then she discovered that the younger generations were going to keep pushing. They kept pushing into the realms of the absurd. Now JK and the people like her won't ever stop to admit that, of the older generations, that perhaps everything they've been led to believe was a lie, that they were always in the Matrix. And you go, oh, well, you guys are, how do I know that our side is outside the Matrix? Because we get our payment processors banned, our banks cancel us, we get destroyed by the machine. Epstein, Balenciaga, Weinstein didn't lose their bank accounts. The Canadian truckers did. Anyone who's on the right, on the alt media, the machine goes after them and destroys them. You get anti-aircraft fire as you near the target. They don't put 40 millimeters on empty hillsides protecting empty fields. They're on target. The left wing always thought that they were counterculture. They were the machine all along. It never occurs to them that it was weird that they have so much institute. Oh, hey, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Bank of America, Chase Bank, Wells Fargo's, every institutional investor, every mainstream media, mainstream social media company. It's weird. They're all supporting us. Isn't that weird? Rage Against the Machines, bro. Yeah, hey, let's work the FBI to get those J6 guys, the mostly peaceful, unarmed protesters of J6, speaking truth to power, raging against the machine. They're actually raging against the machine. And the pussies, the left-wing, completely cucked, hypocritical pussies. Let's work with the FBI to turn in fellow citizens. This is Rage Against the Machine, the band. You look at those people and like, what happened to you people? If you're on the left, how do you not speak up about that? Like, oh, hey, other fellow left-wingers, this isn't, what are we doing here? Why are we working with the FBI to turn in fellow other Americans, the little people who are in prison now for peacefully protesting, mostly peaceful protests on January 6th? Like, is it a good thing that they're in prison? Like, are we on the side of that? What happened to the left wing? Oh, we got subverted and corrupted by the machine. Oh, should we do something about that? Yeah, we'll Occupy Wall Street. What happened to that? Oh, now we're funded by Bank of America and BlackRock. Oh, that's weird. Kind of seems like we got subverted again. It's just I can't believe they think they're going to psych-opt me, says the man who was psych-opt. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, support channel here by becoming a member or a subscribe star, and I will see you guys all next episode.